just want to talk to you a little bit about what the filters are, where they are, what you can do with them, and just show you around a little bit. I have two images that are up on my computer right now in Photopea. I have this image of a monarch butterfly that I took in my backyard, and then I have this image of my kid, Lucas, right there, okay? So I'm just gonna show you some filters over here on the image of the butterfly. First, let's figure out where these filters are. If you go to the main menu that's right up here at the top of Photopea, you can see there's a filter menu on there. So you click on it. This is the main filter menu, and it's got all of these different filters here that you can explore. There's also a filter gallery. So the filter gallery is like a one-stop shop with presets for filters, but then you can also go through these, and there's all these additional filters. I use a lot of the blur filters, just distort, noise, pixelate, render, sharpen, stylize, lots of really cool stuff here. So let's go to the filter gallery first and take a look at that. So here's a filter gallery. It automatically was presetting this filter right here called glowing edges. Let me just move myself out of the way. You have them broken down by different types. So there's artistic filters, brush strokes, distort, sketch, stylize, and texture. Right now, glowing edges is what's on. And it gives you, it's like a preview window of what your filter is going to look like when you apply it. There are also sliders over here that have options for how to adjust those filters, the depth, the width, the brightness, the smoothness, the size of the actual filter in some cases. So you're going to want to play with those. So let's just see if we adjusted the edge width and the edge brightness and kind of see what happens. You can change the smoothness. If you wanted to save that, you would click OK. All right, so let's go to paint daubs. We're going to skip the glowing edges. This is paint daubs, and again, I can change the size of my paint daubs that way. I can change the sharpness of it. I can change the brush type here, simple, light, rough, dark rough, wide sharp, wide blurry, tons of options. And you can see right here, this is the actual filter that I've applied. Let's say I want to actually apply another filter to it. I think I can go like this. Let's see. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. Down here are this is my filter gallery like effects layer. So I can add another one and I can call it, instead of that, I could do ocean ripple. So now I've got ocean ripple on top of paint daubs. It's crazy, right? Or if I wanted, let's see, let's change this one to glowing edges. So it's glowing edges on top of paint daubs. So that is where you can start layering filters on top of each other. That's kind of cool. And again, you can change any of these effects over here with the edges, the brightness. Each one of these filters is going to have a different effect. And they're going to have different options with sliders over here that you can adjust. There are so many possible combinations. I can't go through all of them. I just want you to experiment with them and see what they do. We're going to use the halftone pattern one on the Pop Art magazine cover project. But check out like stained glass, right? Let's get rid of this paint daub so we can trash it by just hitting the bin like that. You can drag it down to the bin or just click on the bin. And stained glass is like, you can change the cell size. It's pretty cool. It actually almost looks like vector artwork like that. Very, very small cells. You could change the size of the border, meaning how thick the border is in between the cells. Lots of really fun things that you could do. If you wanted to commit to that, then you would click OK, and it takes you back to your main image. And now you can see that the original image was adjusted. So if you don't want to mess up your original image, you want to make sure that you make a copy of it and lock the original before you apply any filters to the copy. So let's just go back. This button right up here that says last filter will apply the last filter that you just set. So let's just click on that. You can see it applied the last filter that I just had. That's kind of cool. And it was destructive to that layer, but I made a copy of the original, so I'm okay. The other thing that you can do is you can apply filters to only portions of your actual image if you make a selection of something. So let's make a loose selection. I'm gonna undo this. Okay, I'm gonna make a loose selection of the butterfly, just so you guys can see this really quick. And say I wanted the background to be blurred, so it looked like the butterfly was in focus, but the background was not in focus. What I probably should do is feather it slightly. So I'm going to deselect and I'm going to go up to my feather and I'm going to just dial up the feather slightly so it doesn't do a hard line around my butterfly. And now I'm going to make another selection again. This is really loose. Probably if I wanted to do this better, I would do it with the quick selection tool. All right, so there's a selection of my butterfly, and I can go to the blur filter and to Gaussian blur, and I can just apply the filter to that. Now, what I wanted to say is I didn't invert that selection, so I should probably invert that selection. Shift Command or Control I will invert my selection, and now I have the background selected, and now I'm going to apply that blur filter to the background. And I can dial it up or down so I can get it nice and soft. Let's click OK. So that's what it looks like without the blur. That's what it looks like with the blur. So you can actually have a bokeh effect, which is that foreground in focus, the background not in focus and blurry. Let's see, can we also just apply a filter to what's selected right now? I have the background selected. So let's go to the filter gallery and go to blur. I'm sorry, go to the filter gallery. And you can see that whatever is happening is only happening to the background of the image. Oh, no, that's not selected. Okay, so you could make selections and apply filters only to those selections, whether they are from the main filter menu, all of these here, or if you go to the filter gallery, you can apply just the filters from the filter gallery to a portion of your image if you just select it. Let's go over to the image of my son Lucas, because I want to show you what we're going to do for the pop art magazine cover. You're going to put a halftone filter on your image, your selfie image of yourself. We're going to be looking at the picture of me a lot this week, so I didn't want to look at it right now. First thing I need to do is put an adjustment layer for a black and white image on this. So down here, my layers options at the bottom, I'm going to go to adjustment layer, and I'm going to click on black and white, and that puts a black and white photo filter on it, and I can adjust the sliders if I want to achieve a different effect. I'm also then going to adjust the brightness and the contrast with another adjustment layer because I want to get a brighter image with heavier contrast, which will look better for the halftone pattern. So I'm going to go to brightness, dial up the brightness, and then I'm going to dial up the contrast. So my blacks are really black, my whites are really white, and it'll be better when I apply the halftone pattern on it. Now, before I can apply the halftone pattern, what I need to do is take all of these layers. I need to create a smart object of all of them. So I'm going to select each of the layers, total, by holding Shift. I'm going to right click and say convert to a smart object. Oh, sorry, I didn't do that right. Let's grab all the layers, holding Shift and grabbing all the layers, right click, convert to a smart object. And now I have an image that I can apply a halftone filter to, a single image that has all of those other effects on it. So let's do it. Go up to the filter menu, to the filter gallery, and I want to go to the halftone pattern. And what's cool about the halftone pattern is it applies these dots, but the size of the dots varies. So you have dot pattern, circle pattern, and line pattern. We're going to stick with the dot pattern because that is the hallmark of what the pop art look was that Andy Warhol used in his images, and that's what we're going for. So you can adjust the size and you can adjust the contrast. And depending on the image that you've chosen of yourself for this cover, it might change what you do and how you want it to appear. You want to make sure that you have, nice contrast, and you can look at it from far away and you can still see the features of the actual person of you. So adjust whatever you want, click OK. And now we have this main image with the smart filter, which we can turn on or off. The reason why we converted it to a smart object is because we can turn filters on or off. And if you want to put non-destructive filters on your images, you would convert your object to a smart object first. Otherwise, you would do this. So here I didn't apply a smart filter onto it. I just applied a regular filter and it destroyed the image. But over here, I applied a smart filter. So let's look at it over here. Let's get rid of this. And let's convert this to a smart object. It's not on. Convert to a smart object. And now if I applied a filter to that, filter gallery, stained glass, click OK. notice that it didn't damage the original image. It actually is a smart filter, which means non-destructive. So by changing your image to a smart object, you can apply smart filters, which you can turn on and off, that are non-destructive. If you don't do that step first, then you're going to be doing destructive editing, which is what I showed you initially. So we want to try and continue with the non-destructive editing by converting our image first to a smart object after we've applied adjustment layers to it, and then you can actually add all kinds of cool filters to it. All right, that's a basic introduction of filters and filter gallery. I want you to go and explore right now in Photopea. Just grab an image, put it in there. If you've already taken your selfie, put that in there. Start to experiment. For the project this week, we're going to need to additionally crop and size this image before it goes into our main image for our project, but we'll do that in class. All right, have some fun.